Hello, boys and girls. I'm excited because this is an unboxing day. It is Jack Wolf Knives Day, and that always means something exciting. Now, I have opened the exterior shipping box because I just want to come out here and tear into this with you guys together. So let's get into it, see what's going on. Here is the artwork for this new Gunslinger Jack. And this looks like more of the J Gonzo art. Let's take a look here together. And there it is, J Gonzo art. I was absolutely correct. I love being right. Okay, let's get into this bad boy and see what happens. When you open this, the pog usually falls out. There it is. Whoop. I drop it on the floor. Sorry about that. Here we go. Here is the pog. And there is the Gunslinger art again. Let's get this on out. Inside of there will be the knife. What else is in here? Ah, that's right. We'll talk about this in just a few minutes. Now, you'll notice that we don't have the normal leather slip inside because this, even though it's a Jack Wolf knife, is not going to be a slip joint. No, my friends. This is a titanium bolster lock. Yes, a locking knife by Jack Wolf, and this is their third locking knife. This one very clearly is based off of the sharpshooter Jack. So you have the same gun stock pattern as the original sharpshooter Jack slip joint. Go ahead and get that open. As you see, the bolster lock is much easier to open than a slip joint for most people. I still love the clickety-clack of the slip joint. Now, you're going to have a few different ways you can open this puppy. You can either use the fuller that's on either side of the blade, and you can reverse flick that as you see here. I guess you could thumb flick it. I don't know that I would keep trying that because I'm going to cut myself. But yes, you can slow roll it. But you've also got this, the front flipper, which is used for thumb flipping. And it does it really, really well. And I am not a front flipper guy. I actually hate front flippers. Most of you should already know that. But Jack Wolf does a pretty good job of it. Now, I will be the first to admit that I prefer the slip joints that Jack Wolf Knives makes. However, I love the fact that they are opening themselves up to the larger community of knife collectors because more people are interested in folders than they are slip joints. That's just the way it is these days. Now, if you're looking for something that's unique, there's a little, hold on a second, hold on. The camera is not going to pick this up, but there is a harmonic ting that's coming from this blade when it locks open. It's a nice sound. You're hearing a thunk on my microphone, but after that thunk, there's a little tuning fork ting that I can hear with my ears. Very, very cool. All right, in case you're wondering, these are going to be dropping live Friday, March 15th, 2024 at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, as with all Jack Wolf knives, when they drop live. It's not a pre-order, and they'll be dropping with their authorized dealers. So you just go to any of their dealers, it's on their dealer list on their website, and boom, you got it, baby. Now, there's going to be 5 all-new configurations. For those that don't remember, the sharpshooter has been made in 2 variations, okay, the slip joint sharpshooter, the original run when the brand launched, and then this newer variation, which came out just a few months ago, and lockers. Yes, I'm just going to call them lockers instead of bolster lock, because I really want to stress the fact that this is not a slip joint, that it is a locking knife, and that's what makes it special. This is going to be in 5 all-new configurations. There's going to be Fat Carbon Nebula, which is the American flag, red, white, and blue. There's this one here, which is my particular favorite. This is the Dark Matter Gold. Now, if you get the Dark Matter Gold, you're going to get, for the first time, a hand-rubbed satin blade instead of the belt satin blades that you're seeing like here with my fingerprints all over it. Really nice hand rub. They have done an extraordinary job. Very, very pleased with how that came out. That looks really elegant, really well done. And then you get the gold anodized backspacer and gold anodized pocket clip, and this. So if you decide that you want to carry your bolster lock like you would carry the slip joint, you can delete the pocket clip, you can take the pocket clip off, and that's going to leave you an open space in this lower bolster that you would then fill with this. So this is a filler tab that is also gold anodized that will go in its place. There's also going to be a desert ironwood and a hand satin blade, and then that one is going to have a polished pocket clip and polished backspacer. At least that's what the factory is calling it. So because the factory is calling it that, so is Jack Wolf Knives. I'm here to tell you it is not polished. It is a high grit satin. So imagine this satin, okay, or more appropriately, because it's more directly comparable. Imagine this standard satin that they do on the slip joints, okay, but imagine if that was a much higher grit. This is, I don't know if it's not 220. It looks a little too fine to be 220, but it's not quite 400. This might be 320, which is, it's a grit that I don't personally use, but it is a popular grit. So I think that's maybe what it is. But imagine this being around 1,200 to 1,500 grit. So it starts getting a sheen, a shine, a reflectivity to it, but it's not quite a mirror. So when you read the word polished on the website, I don't want you to expect it to be mirror polished, because it's not going to be. It's just going to be a very high luster satin, okay? Then there's going to be the black DLC with the purple kieranite. How is the purple kieranite different than the laid-back Jack was? Well, the laid-back Jack, which I'm going to show you right now, it actually had purple with black swirls. Now on the sharpshooter, on the Gunslinger, I'm going to confuse that this whole video, I'm sure, is just going to be purple. There will be no black swirls in it. So there's another important clarification to make. And then there's going to be a frame lock version, and that means there's going to be a version that does not have inlays. It's just an all titanium frame lock, and it's going to have kind of a diamond textured pattern to the frame, as well as the first time ever that Jack Wolf has decided to anodize their screws. So you're going to get screws that are going to be anodized to match the backspacer and the pocket clip that's on that particular variation. Oh. A couple of other upgrades that are worth mentioning that Ben did a really, really good job on is the blade spine is now finally, chamfered. I don't know if I can quite get a shot of that to get it to show up. But you can see right there, there's a very light chamfer that runs down it. And thank God for that, because on these very, very steep hollow grinds, it cuts off at the spine, and it's normally a very, very sharp feeling transition, which you could see right there. And thankfully that is gone. And I hope that that's a feature that goes on in the future for every Jack Wolf knife. That would make me so, so happy. Ooh, look at that swedge. It did a nice job on that swedge. It looks really, really good. Anyway, so there's that. We talked about the filler tab. How's the lockup? Let's take a look at that while we have it nice and tight here. That looks like about, I'd say a good 30% lockup. That's fair. That's a good strong lockup without being over too far and worrying about it getting lock rock at some point. Very, very nicely done. Now mine is not broken in yet. If it were, that blade would be dropping freely. Let's get that bad boy to break in. What I'm going to do off camera between now and the time that I do the full review is I'm going to put a little teensy tiny microscopic dot of oil just on the detent ball. You don't need to oil your bearings. There's never a need to do that. Just a little tiny bit there to reduce the friction as it breaks in and it wears the detent track into the backside of the blade. And when I come out here for the full review, this thing should be dropping shut very, very freely. And there is your very quick comparison to the sharpshooter that it is based off of. Good looking knife. And I'm going to tell you right now, I wish I had gone for a Jack Wolf in the dark matter gold much, much sooner than this, because it is gorgeous. It's elegant. It's cool, it's rad, it's badass, all wrapped up into one. And honestly, that's why I like my Jack Wolf knives, because they're all those things always wrapped up into one. So there it is. So for the days that you got to have a Jack Wolf with you, but you don't feel like carrying a slip joint down in your pocket, you're just going to be carrying a folder clipped to your pocket. Now you have another choice. This is now the third locking knife in the Jack Wolf inventory. And I think it looks really, really fantastic. Thank you to Ben for always innovating, always doing cool stuff, and always listening to your customers, because the reason why this is coming out so quickly on the heels of the previous ones is because he listened to the people that have emailed him and have posted in the Jack Wolf Knives Worldwide Facebook group that have said, we really, really want another locking gunslinger. Please do it, please do it, please do it. So he did. He moved up to production and sped it up and had it out before whatever it was that would have normally been on the calendar, on the production schedule. He pushed this forward. Now, everybody, say it with me. We need a recreation of the Cyborg with new colorways, with new finishes. Not a locking one, although, yeah, that would be kind of cool too. But I love my Cyborg, and I want another. And even if it upscaled it just a little bit, just made it a little teeny tiny bit bigger, even that would be a great option too. So Ben, there's my suggestion. I act like I haven't said this before. There is my suggestion. I'd love to see that happen. All right, guys, I'm out of here for now, and I will be back soon with the full-length review. Thank you all so much.